I'm talking to you sitting in my bedroom in London. That's really weird, but things are different right now. I am in lockdown, told to stay at home as much as possible and work right here. The last few months for most of us have not just been bizarre, but scary. Hundreds of thousands have caught the coronavirus and tens of thousands have died from it, and that will rise. But in this video, I want to talk about some of the positive news, the stories of success we're having in trying to treat it, and where we are in terms of a vaccine. The bad news is that there is currently no cure for the coronavirus, yet there has been some recent news that offers some promising steps. Drugs that scientists hope can provide an effective treatment for those people with COVID-19 who end up in hospital. So let's start with here in the UK. A drug company called Synergen has begun phase 2 trials of its drug SNG-001 for COVID-19 patients. The treatment involves something called interferon beta. That's a molecule which forms part of the lung's defense mechanism to fight off viruses. The idea is that this drug would help reduce the severity of the infection with COVID-19, especially for those people whose immune systems are weakened to the virus. The trial that's happening now, phase 2, is where they expand the numbers of subjects and focus more on the effectiveness of the drug. Now, the drug wasn't originally intended for the coronavirus. It was being developed before the virus hit as a treatment for a group of lung diseases. Trials with asthma patients have shown it helps to enhance the lung's antiviral defenses. But if it passes the testing phase, it could reduce the severity of coronavirus and potentially reduce the deaths that result from it. There's also an existing treatment called Favipiravir, and it's another drug which could offer some hope. The drug, which is currently used against the flu in Japan, has been hailed as clearly effective against coronavirus by Chinese health officials. 340 COVID-19 patients in China have taken part in trials, with those who took the drug testing negative for the virus after just 4 days. But Japan has warned that while it could be used for mild or moderate cases, it may not be as effective against more severe symptoms. It's also been reported that it may not be suitable for pregnant women as it could cause fetal abnormalities. More trials for the drug are also taking place in Japan, and more than 80 patients are taking part, but it could be a while before the results are published. Another drug which has got a lot of attention is chloroquine. It's been used to treat malaria for decades, but could hold a key to fighting COVID-19 too. Multiple research teams have shown promising results with the drug. However, it's important to point out that we are at a very early stage with the drug. Until large-scale trials are carried out, it's hard to know how effective the drug could be and what the full risks and side effects are. Indeed, chloroquine tablets, which are already available for other medical uses, have long lists of side effects, and overdosing can be fatal. Scientists have stressed that the drug should only be taken under medical supervision, and that it's crucial not to self-medicate and instead wait until drugs get the proper approval. So while chloroquine has shown some promise, more testing is needed before it can be made widely available, and you at home should definitely not use it to medicate yourselves. But let's focus on some other good news in terms of treatment and how people are working around the clock to help those with COVID-19. Here in the UK, a breathing aid that can keep coronavirus patients out of intensive care has been speedily made in under a week. University College London said the device had been designed by mechanical engineers, medics, and the Mercedes Formula One team. It's a device that has been used in Italy and China, and it's less invasive than a ventilator. It helps to increase the amount of oxygen going into the lungs. If the trial goes well, up to 1,000 could be made per day. It's another encouraging sign of helping to alleviate the effects of COVID-19 on patients. But everything we've just spoken about is on treating those with coronavirus, not actually preventing it. So let's talk about a vaccine. And here, there's a lot of misinformation doing the rounds. There have been headlines from some outlets suggesting we could be just 6 months away from a vaccine. Sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? And unfortunately, that's the case. While scientists around the world are working non-stop to develop a vaccine, it's widely predicted that an available product won't be ready for another 12 to 18 months. That may sound like a long way away, but it's an incredibly quick turnaround. And the good news is that numerous groups are working on this. The WHO says there are at least 44 candidates for a possible vaccine, all in different stages of development. There are 3 phases of trials involving human subjects when it comes to getting a vaccine. Phase 1 is small. Phase 2 and 3 expands the number of subjects to see how safe and effective the vaccine is and whether there are side effects. After that, if all is good, regulatory bodies in various countries step in order to approve whether or not the vaccine should be signed off, and then it can be sent to manufacturers. All of these different stages, clinical trials, regulation, manufacturing, can take years in normal conditions. Speeding up this process is difficult. Those clinical trials take time because they need to ensure the safety of a drug. I spoke with Hanneke Schoetmaker at Janssen Pharmaceuticals in the Netherlands, who told me that her team has been all hands on deck since January, and that she and other groups around the world have been working around the clock to get a vaccine.
Normally vaccine development takes 5 to 7 years, if not longer. And this time to develop a COVID-19 vaccine, everybody is trying to crunch that timeline. Of course, we keep complete focus on the safety of our product, not cutting any corners and really doing our utmost best to deliver an efficacious vaccine within that time limit to help curb this outbreak.
So that's the latest in terms of treatment for coronavirus and where we are in terms of a vaccine. It's still early days in both these areas, and it will take time to ensure we have effective treatment and over a year to get a possible vaccine. And think of all those healthcare workers out there, risking their lives and working countless hours to tend to patients and ensure their survival. Just here in the UK, thousands of former NHS workers have returned to the front line, and more than 700,000 people have volunteered to help tackle this virus. These are definitely worrying times, but a lot is being done by countless people all over the world to make our future safer.